Joining me right now is Democratic Texas Congressman Henry Cuellar. His reaction right now to the shooting. And Congressman, it's good to have you this morning. Thanks very much for joining us. Your reaction to what we have been reporting today.
Well, again, thank you. You know, it's just horrible to see this type of situation that a coward would go in and kill this young college students. And of course, the deputy sheriff, who went up there to try to save those kids. And again, my prayers to them. You know, we'll let the investigations to find out who this individual is. Why did he do that? But, you know, a coward shooting young kids is just beyond words.
It really is just beyond words. Congressman, I want to get your take on what can get done in the next 2 years. Obviously, we want to switch gears to a divided Congress, given the news. Democrats retaking the House, Republicans gearing up for an anticipated some hurdles on issues from taxes to trade. The president, along with House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi, both spoke out on the plans for bipartisan yesterday. Here's what we heard from them. Watch this.
I give her a great deal of credit for what she's done and what she's accomplished. Hopefully, we can all work together next year to continue delivering for the American people.
We as Democrats are here to strengthen the institution in which we serve and not to have it be a rubber stamp for President Trump. We believe that we have a responsibility to seek common ground where we can. Where we cannot, we must stand our ground.
Congressman Cuellar, what are your thoughts in terms of what can get done? I know we've heard a lot about you and your colleagues wanting to bring a lot of investigations, investigating President Trump, potentially trying to impeach him. Are you planning to get anything done in terms of legislation?
You know, I'm one of the Blue Dog co-chairs, and we've always reached out to Republicans. I believe in bipartisanship. I want to work with the president on the issues that we can work together, whether it's infrastructure or looking at the health care and making changes to the health care. Keep what works, you know, repeal or modify the things that don't work. Let's do it in a bipartisan way. NAFTA, I'm from the border, so trade is extremely important. It's important to the United States. It's important to so many states. So I think we can find a lot of common ground, and I want to reach out like I've done in the past. There's a lot of Democrats that want to reach out to the Republicans, and we'll continue working. In the appropriations, we've always worked together, Democrats and Republicans. That's the type of bipartisanship that the American people want.
Absolutely. I want to get back to the border in a moment, but you just mentioned the Blue Dogs. We've been talking about this morning, the Blue Dogs, and we've been talking about debt and deficit. So here we are looking at $1 trillion deficit in the coming years, next year and beyond, $21 trillion in debt right now. What's your plan to stop spending?
Well, you know, keep in mind there's two columns. What comes in, what goes out, and what's going out right now is less than what's coming in. As you know, I support tax cuts, but anytime you do tax cuts, there's less money coming in. There's more money coming out. Keep in mind that 2/3 of the spending that has increased is really the mandatory spending. You know, we got to talk about Medicare, Social Security. The mandatory things is something that we need to talk about. Nobody wants to talk about that. Nobody wants to talk about that. On appropriations, I think if you look at we've been able to put the money and use it wisely, and this is what we need to look at. But again, there's two columns: what comes in, what goes out. And I think if you look at that, we got to talk about how we can address the deficit. We don't want that deficit. It's growing. You know, a large amount of that goes to foreign countries on interest. The interest we're paying. It's something that we need to do it together, bipartisan.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because obviously we know that much of the money and much of the growth in spending is from those entitlements. So when are you planning on talking about this? Do you have a planned time to have this conversation? Are you going to do a hearing on it? Are you planning to actually come up with a bill that changes Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security?
I think if you look at some of the proposals, there's a lot of proposals out there. What's lacking right now is not the plans out there. What's lacking is, can we get together in a bipartisan way? And it's got to be bipartisan, because if the Republicans try to do something, Democrats are going to attack. If Democrats try to do something by themselves, the Republicans are definitely going to attack. So it's got to be in a bipartisan way, because this is what the American public wants us to do. They want us to address the issues. And the only way things last for a long time, not from one session to the other session, or when a majority takes over and a different majority loses out, it's got to be bipartisan. Those are the long-lasting pieces of legislation that will keep us going for many years.
We definitely will be watching your bipartisanship on this issue, because you're right, this is a major issue.